I want to get your views on yesterday. The Senate hearing over in Washington. Obviously, a lot of revelations have come out of that. What did you make of what you heard yesterday, and where has it left golf in this week ahead of the Open?
What I took out of it more is that we kind of have a little bit more of an answer on how all this came together. Because I think when it came out, it was on June 6th, or whenever they first announced it, it was completely out of the blue. Nobody expected it. That was like a blow to the system for everybody. And so I think what we got yesterday was a few more answers and a few more talking points on how the future of this merger partnership would work. And I think that what I took out of it is more about, what the landscape is going to look like, and I still think there's a lot of work yet to be done. But I think it's going to be good for the game of golf going forward if they can get everything going in the right direction. I think that getting the top players in the game, getting the Cameron Smiths, the Brooks Koepkas back playing alongside these great players as well, I think only enhances the game. I know they do it 4 times a year, but I'd like to see it a lot more than that. And whether or not they decide to come back full time or they want to just continue with whatever the LIV, whatever that might look like going forward, and just playing a limited number of events in more of a team format, it kind of remains to be seen. But I think that there's still a lot of questions to be answered, but at least we got the nuts and bolts of how this even started, because I think that we were so shocked that they were even speaking. I think some of the early emails, for me, it was interesting and almost fun to read about how softly it went. Like, I'd like you to meet. How about we have a cup of coffee first? That was, to me, that was a tell sign that cooler heads are actually thinking about what's going on.
It's amazing to think how much has happened. I remember speaking to you exactly a year ago here.
Yeah.
How much has happened in this last year? What is the game going to look like this time next year?
That's a $1 million question. Or a $1 billion question. I think with the money that's going to be advanced in the game.
See what you did there.
Yeah, I know, pun intended. But I think that depending on what happens those Senate hearings and what they kind of allow the PGA Tour to do. And the reason why they're doing that, folks, is the fact that the PGA Tour operates as a nonprofit organization. We're what's called a 501(c)(3) organization. So basically they're a nonprofit organization. But in order to bring this in, they're looking at changing that landscape and changing, or at least part of that landscape, to having a for-profit entity. So I think what they're doing is looking at whether or not they want to allow the PGA Tour to be a 501(c)(3). I think that some of the stuff as far as the monopoly goes, I don't think they can stick that on us. But when I say us, I mean the PGA Tour. You can read a lot more online as well about this. But I think the landscape is going to look a lot different. I think we're going to see some of the top players who we look at, the top players, again, the Brooks, Cameron Smiths, DJs. I think they're all going to be playing together probably by this time next year.
Okay.
I can't guarantee it, but I'd be a little surprised if they're not.